The truth leads you to that. So, more importantly, to all my young people, stop believing it. The educational system has been corrupted around the world. Period. They don't want no one to know the truth because all of y'all are just commodity. A body with a soul and a spirit that should be given to the Most High. Period. Keeping of the code is hard in this day and age with all this chaos around you. I know, I understand. But for those who are old enough to be able to take care of themselves, it is time to wake up, speak the truth, but more importantly, time to know the truth and not regurgitate a lie. That's a commandment, to regurgitate a lie. Out of Africa? No. Notice that line way up here, making us dead last. Huh? Then everybody found the Americas. Please. Tamari's been chilling over here. You'll hear some people call it Turtle Island. But Tamarica, we've been here, and we'll be here. That's why all this is going on, all this chaos. But let's see what else he got to say.
Or did it take place on multiple occasions? The site of Obadiah is found close to the southern edge of the Sea of Galilee, near Kibbutz Beit Zera, and is one of the earliest prehistoric sites to be found outside of Africa, and dates to around 1.5 million years ago. The only other site that predates Obadiah is the Manisi in the Republic of Georgia, which dates to around 1.8 million years ago. Obadiah was discovered and excavated in the early 60s by many of the famous Israeli prehistorians, uncovered rich stone tools assemblages that were used by early humans, together with numerous animal bones, some of which went extinct long time ago, like saber-toothed cats and mammoths, while others are not usually associated with Israel, such as hippos, rhinos, and big crocodiles.
Did you catch that? Guess where they do come from? This great holy land. Yeah, all of them. Horses, elephants, lions. Yeah, all of them come from over here. Migrated over there. Some didn't, as you heard him say, but they'll make you believe everything started over there. Why? Oh, because the next great lie you want to believe is slavery. We'll get into that one thing at a time. It's a very deep rabbit hole. It's time for everybody to touch the bottom, go back to the top, and then start looking up.
In 2018, Miriam Bellmaker won a National Science Foundation grant to study the ancient climate and to accurately date the site. While studying animal bones from the site, she came across a vertebra with human-like feature that was actually excavated in 1966. Together with Professor Elabin, we studied the vertebra and came up with some new and important conclusions. First, it is a fossilized early human bone that belonged to a child. We know so because of the shape of the vertebra and the fact that it is incomplete, meaning that it did not finish its growing process. We estimate that had it reached adulthood, this individual would be around 1.8 meters tall and weigh about 19 kilograms. These numbers are similar to some of the large-bodied hominins that are found in Africa in the similar time period, but are very different from the small-bodied hominins that we found in Georgia. Second, here we witnessed two distinct human species at the same time period, which is known as the Lower Pleistocene outside of Africa. We know that the earliest stages of human evolution took place in Africa.
See how he stumbled? They know the truth, but they get paid to tell you something totally different. And because of such, even as scholars, it's hard for them. I know deep down, these men and women out there who still doing that work, that we still need so many more people to do even more work. But where? Over here. There is parts of the Grand Canyon you can't even go into. Why? Because our government says no. There is parts throughout the Illinois you can't go into. See, they'll tell you about the pyramids. But they don't tell you how there were so many pyramids over here on this side. Notice, I do not divide the Americas, as we call them today, because they were all one. We started from the lower part and we moved up all the way up to the top. It was all ours. We explored every piece of the land, gave it a nickname, and then we expanded. We made not one, but two other great capitals throughout the world. We'll get there too, because that is how Black people spread from here. That is why there is Black people everywhere in the world still. And it does not matter if you lost your melanin, it still ties you all the way back to here. There's been DNA proof showing that. And not that, spit in a cup and send it to somebody and then they're going to tell you where you come from. That stuff is fake. That stuff is about as real as me being able to fly. Be a nice thing to do.
Based on the fossil record and by comparing DNA data from apes and humans. However, over the years, there is a continuous debate about the nature of out of Africa migration. Was this a one-time event, or did it take place on multiple occasions? And who were the people who migrated out of Africa? Our current study indicates that early hominins migrated at least twice and in two distinct ways. This is because the people of Dmanisi are different in size and shape from those in Ubadia. Moreover, Dr. studied the stone artifacts from both sides, conclude that the stone manufacturing techniques, as well as the stone tools themselves, are different. Professor Miriam Bellmaker concludes that the climate as well as the animals are also different in both sides. Thus, each migration waves came new and different type of hominin with their own stone-making traditions, which may indicate maybe about their cognitive abilities and the different preferences of their ecological niche and habitat. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
You too, my guy. Nevertheless, notice how he says all that stuff. Like it's so incomplete. How can history be incomplete? Think about that. How could history truly be incomplete? It wouldn't make sense. Point blank, it wouldn't make sense. History is complete. History is just hidden. And we don't have time to play games anymore, honestly. Spiritually, we are in a war. They want the next generation to pretty much become a brand new class of perfect slaves. And to the young people, y'all are pretty close to it. Your attention spans have been shrinking, and I know why. It's social media. It was meant to do that. Reading of a book is outdated somehow. So it's time for you to put your brains and listen at least to audio of people who will tell you the truth. And that is why I am here. I will lead you to the truth and to those who will tell you the truth, because there are so many out there on this social media machine who will tell you lies. And as long as they're telling you those lies, it will continue having you going in circles or thinking that nothing in this world is so unreal to where you could just do whatever you want without any consequences. Ask the people in Houston how that really went. Good times. And believe me, we had great times back in the day too, but it came with consequences. At least understanding that, hey, these condom things actually do help, and they do have an importance. Unfortunately, that's not here or there anymore. For those who've actually gone down to that wonderful good time they had in Houston, guess what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Out of Africa is nothing but a lie. So scratch it out your brain for good. Everything started in the Americas. Everything. Even on this side, for us, the first place slavery started came out of South America. The whole 1619 project of odds and ends. to those poor women and children who they went and scooped up and decided to take them further north where they didn't know nobody and then, sell. Yeah, there's your beginning. They don't want to tell you that. And that's why it's time. I don't care if you want to consider yourself black. I don't care if you want to consider yourself brown, copper, pink, blue. If you and your family is tied to the Americas, you are tied to the original peoples. And we have always been peaceful. And that's why it's been so easy for other ones to come over here into the old world and systematically try to take it all over. We had a system that worked for everyone on this side. Everybody ate. Everybody had what they needed. Was no money. It was just everybody had. Kind of like a great big giant cookout all amongst the land. See? That's how it was. It's going to be hard to get back to that, but it is possible. But first, we all need to start coming back together. Stop playing the color game. There are no blacks, there are no browns. And if you want to call yourself Latinos, or if you want to call yourself Negroes, or fine, so be it. But I'd rather all y'all get back to calling yourself what you really are. You're from the Americas. Why not? Let's go back to Amaru Khans. That's what you are, Khans of this great land. Khans. That's what you are. That ties you to the land. That ties all the tribes to the land. From the 700 so tribes from the South America to the 70 some odd tribes up out of Mexico to the 570 some odd tribes out of the Central America to the 600 some odd tribes out of Canada. All y'all need to come back together. And I know we've been infiltrated, but y'all have tribal names that then lead you right to being back to being a Khan, period. That's the truth. That's a fact. That's what they're hiding from you. That's what they don't want you to know. They want you to play a color game. And as long as you keep playing the color games of between black and white, guess what? They're winning. And not only are they winning, but at some point, as always, some tools are going to get broken. So for my people who are still melanated, and if you're not sure if you are melanated, look in the mirror. It won't lie. Even if you lie to yourself, it won't lie. Even those who are not melanated, if you are wondering if you've lost all of your melanation, look in the mirror. Are your eyes still brown? Is your hair really dark? Do you have any rhythm, spirit? Do you believe in a higher power? That's all connected. So this is Legend of Iron. This is my very first one. If you have any questions, feel free, reach out, ask. I'm here to answer. And at some point and in some time, I will show my face. I can't right now. Matter of fact, 5,000, I'll show my face. 7, I'll show my face. And then you'll see how ugly or how good I look. So be it. But then, until then, this is Legend of Iron. Like it, sub, hype, but more importantly, anything that gives you a question, type it. I'll answer. That's my calling. I'm a bridge. Take care of yourself. Try to eat something real and be good to one another. Peace.